Hey, everybody. Ben Dorr here with my brother Chris with the American Firearms Association and a lot of other state gun rights organizations. Guys, we just wanted to hop in here very quickly, give you an update on what's happening in DC. I think everybody's probably watching. We know for a certainty now that the so-called assault weapons ban is coming to the House floor for a vote. We have more details on when that could be. I know everybody's kind of like waiting around to figure out what the heck is happening, but we're talking with a lot of people on Capitol Hill, and we have some details on that. Before we jump into that, do us a favor, share this video, send it to your family, your friends, all your gunnies, everybody you know who cares, who gives a rip about our Second Amendment freedoms, and so that they can have all the details about what's happening today too.
Yeah. We are currently waiting for the House Rules Committee to convene in just a couple of minutes here, but let's just kind of go over what just happened. They just passed the same day rule. We talked, Patrick did a video about it last night. We've been talking about it this morning. They just held the House floor vote on the same day rule that lets them bring this bill from committee straight to the floor today without having to burn a normal 24-hour period. That thing just passed. I guess I don't remember what the vote count was, but I don't think all of the members were in there. So that exact vote count probably will not carry over. So, Ben, are you clear on the process from here? You want to take them on a tour of that?
I think so here. So again, the same day rule ordinarily with a bill like HR 1808, the so-called assault weapons ban bill, it would have to pass out of the rules committee, and there's usually a 24-hour period where they'd let the bill sit, especially for big issues. So they already passed the same day rule. They overrode that, and now that will allow them to take this bill right out of the rules committee and put it right on the House floor for a vote without having to do that 24-hour wait.
Yeah.
So our understanding is this is the last day of Congress, right? They're going on this month-long or 6-week-long break, big long break. And so the Rules Committee, so this is where it's at right now. This gun ban bill is right now in the Rules Committee.
Yes.
This committee, we've got it up on another screen right here. It's not, they're 5 minutes past their starting. Looks like they're kicking off right now.
Yeah.
The Rules Committee is going to decide what the rules are for once HR 1808 makes it onto the congressional floor. So how much debate is there going to be? What the back and forth is going to be on the bill? They're going to set the rules for the debate and for the vote, and then they're going to pass it out. And the House will have to take it up on the floor for the debate and the vote. So right now it's in rules. We're waiting for them to pass it out of rules. In the meantime, it's looking like, and just based on the staff we're talking to on Capitol Hill, they're talking about a mid to late afternoon vote, full floor vote. So rules could take quite a while. And it'll be on the floor probably mid to late afternoon is what we're being told right now.
Yeah, so what we're watching on this screen right now, they're going to set the terms of the debate, how many minutes of debate are allowed by each side. Quite frankly, it doesn't even matter. We're not even going to pipe this audio in because that is all very inconsequential to what happens here. And we're going to encourage everybody, just keep hammering. I know we've got links in the comment section. Well, maybe not yet, but what's our website for this, Ben, that people can easily go
guys.
to?
Go to stopawb.com. I know you guys have done this already. Many of you have probably done this over and over, but go to stopawb.com. I'll throw it up here for you. And send your petition to your Congress member telling them to vote no on HR 1808. We're being told everything we're seeing right now says this vote is going to be extremely close. Some Democrats are going to flake off. Some Republicans are going to flake off. And it's going to be a very, very tough call. So send that petition. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm just going to throw this up there. There's a tweet that came out from Punch Bowl. This is like the most in-key reporter on Capitol Hill. He says it right there at the bottom. He's like, the assault weapons ban is going to be a very tight vote for House Democrats. So that's why even at this very moment, they're not sure what that vote's going to be. They're taking a risk themselves. I saw a couple of minutes ago that Ron Kind, the congressman from Wisconsin, is telling reporters that he's a likely no. He's leaning towards voting against it. So this is going to come down to the very wire, which is why we're pumping those phone calls, pumping those emails, asking everybody to keep on it, even at this very minute. I know there's other Congress members. There's like Democrat Jared Golden from Maine, I think, Henry Cooler or whatever his name is from Texas, Kurt Schrader from Oregon, Ron Kind from Wisconsin. These people,
Angie Craig from Minnesota, is
yeah,
another one, top
yes,
pick.
yes, this is a vote they don't want happening. But this is also why we were doing videos earlier today, focusing on a lot of these people like Brian Fitzpatrick and Anthony Gonzalez, Joyce and stuff from Ohio. A lot of these Republicans that flaked off in the last gun control bill, because this is going to come down to the wire.
Yep.
So just keep hammering on them.
Cindy Axne. And I want to be clear, because I know that, yes, we're being watched right now by a lot of gun owners in a lot of places, but there's also a lot of leftist agitators watching right now. There's a lot of congressional staff who are watching this right now, trying to get a feel for what's going on. And I want to be very clear. This is the American Firearms Association right here, but this is also, we are representative. Our members are representative of gun rights organizations, massive, powerful, very well put together, powerful gun rights organizations in Iowa, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin. The list goes on. And I want to be clear for people like Angie Craig in Minnesota, the American Firearms Association and Minnesota Gun Rights will do everything it takes to expose your vote on this in your very vulnerable district in November if you vote yes on this stuff. Cindy Axne in Iowa gun owners and the American Firearms Association will make you one of our top picks to expose your vote on this in November. The list goes on. Ron Kind in Wisconsin. The American Firearms Association and the Wisconsin Firearms Coalition will put you dead in our political sights, and we will expose you in November if you vote for this stuff. And this goes on and on, Chris.
Those are all Democrats. This is a heads up to the Republicans like you, Steve Shabbat, and you, Mike Turner, and you, Dave Joyce in Ohio. If you guys so much as twitch on this gun control stuff, and if you cross over and join the communist hate America left on this, we will make it our mission as organizations, both Ohio gun owners and American Firearms Association, to pursue you to the ends of the political earth and make sure that every single gun owner knows exactly what you did. Maybe not, maybe it won't be in this election. Maybe it'll be the next election or the one after that. But we will never forget, and we will never stop our pursuit of you and your political career. The same thing goes for you, Brian Fitzpatrick, in Pennsylvania. We have long-term memories we will never forget. So today is your chance. Today the ball is in your court. But after today, the ball jumps right back into ours. So great point there, Ben.
So guys, just what we're saying here, we want you guys to know what's going on in DC. The Rules Committee. Chris, you want to pull the Wadler in here quick? We're gonna pipe into the House Rules Committee. They are setting the rules on the debate and the vote on the so-called assault weapons ban bill for this afternoon that's going on the floor of Congress. Let's listen to this retard.
Allows for the possession of any semi-automatic assault weapon lawfully possessed on the date of enactment. The sale or transfer of any semi-automatic assault weapon lawfully possessed on the date of enactment following a background check. H.R. 1808 also contains many protections for responsible gun owners, hunters, collectors, farmers, sport shooters,
FUDs,
and those who use firearms in self-defense to exemptions. It also allows for temporary transfers without a background check for target shooting at a licensed target facility with established range. Finally, the bill allows states to use earned justice assistance grant funds for voluntary buyback programs, semi-automatic assault weapons.
This guy is just an effing liar. Like every single word that comes out of his mouth is a lie. a misrepresentation. I know, and you know, I see also what he's doing there. There are so many people that we call them FUDs here, disaffectionately, but he's trying to put people's minds at ease that we're not gonna come and take away the ones you've got. There's a grandfather clause in here. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit until the next shooting happens. Look what
Right.
happened with the entire bill for federal red flag gun control funding that they passed in late June. They're right back here now with the assault weapons ban. So they will never stop. The grandfather clause will be wiped off the books in the very next chance that they have. And but people like the Waddler there are very much trying to get all the FUDs and doomers on board with this kind of crap. So, do we want to listen to what Massey's talking about there, Ben?
Pipe him in once.
Yeah.
Make it as loud as you can.
Amendments by depriving citizens of their property and rights without having been charged, arraigned, or convicted of any crime. At that time, we also considered H.R. 7910 a grab bag of radical Democrat proposals that would restrict American Second Amendment rights without any evidence that it would make anything better. In fact, there's some evidence that it would make it worse. For instance, there was a new definition of gun trafficking in that bill which would apply even to victims of domestic violence who acquired a firearm from their neighbor for protection. That person would be considered a gun trafficker under that bill that passed this House. A few weeks later, we considered the so-called Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. That bill was just the Senate version of a grab bag of gun restriction proposals that wasn't any better than the House version we considered just a couple of weeks earlier. In fact, I would argue it also contained another provision that's very dangerous to most gun owners in this country. Redefined gun dealer or unlicensed for the purposes of convicting unlicensed gun dealers to include virtually anybody who sells a gun for a profit. You could sell one gun. There was no limitation on the number of guns you had to sell. And I think that's problematic. Over the past few months, we've seen the Democrats' approach to semi-automatic firearms become more and more radical. First, they wanted to raise the age of just about everyone to buy certain semi-automatic firearms. Then they wanted those of a certain age to undergo enhanced background checks. Now Democrats want to ban them for all law-abiding Americans. Those guns that they wanted to raise the age for just a few weeks ago, now they're just saying, let's ban all of them. Why can't they make up their minds? The answer is simple.
I think I'm just going to take it back. I think what's going on here is what we're seeing here. I think is good people. Again, Thomas Massey from Kentucky. He's the chair of the Congressional Second Amendment Caucus. What he's doing is trying to run amendments on the bill right now and talk about the bill and rules. So what that would signal is that they're not going to allow any House floor amendments. So again, we're just kind of walking through this rules process. They're going to vote this thing out, shortly here is my guess, and then they will likely take this up at mid afternoon, late afternoon, something like that. So, Ben.
I mean, that's where we're at, guys. We're gonna be back live again in the next when the vote's actually happening. Stay close to whatever feed you're watching this on. We're gonna do periodic updates throughout the day, what we're hearing, when if there's confirmation of anything. Again, this so-called assault weapons ban bill, the Democrats, many of them don't want to vote for this stuff. I don't even think Pelosi wants this on the floor right now.
No,
this is not good for them. So they're sweating freaking bullets right now, and that's exactly what they should be. Pun intended there. So they don't want to do this, and we don't want them to do this. So we need to keep hammering on them. I put the phone number right here on the screen. Call your Congress members, 202-225-3121. 202-225-3121. You'll get the congressional switchboard. Tell them where you're from. and leave a message. Say, I want an absolute freaking hell no vote on HR 1808. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care what kind of amendments are on the bill. I don't care if there's grandfather clauses. We don't give a damn. We want a no vote on this, no matter what happens, or we're going to do whatever it takes to expose you guys at election time. That's how we say it. So that, to me, is the big update right now. We're being told from staff on Capitol Hill this vote will take place sometime mid to late afternoon. Obviously, anything can change, but if you're sitting there waiting for something to happen in the next 10 minutes, it's likely going to be at least another 2 to 5 hours before anything major is happening. So we're going to be back live. If you get another live notification from us, it's likely because the House is voting on this. In the meantime, screenshot this post, screen grab that phone number right now, and hop into your Facebook chats, hop into your online chats, your Discord chats, wherever the heck you are, send it out and tell them, call that number and say, vote no on the so-called assault weapons ban bill. Vote no on HR 1808. They need to be pounded on. I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of lefties out there in the Twitter sphere and all over online, and the gun control groups are throwing out emails faster than we are, saying, call your Congress members, tell them to vote for common sense gun legislation, tell them to vote for this life-saving legislation that's good for America. So everybody in DC is being bombarded right now with these phone numbers and with these phone calls, with these emails. Brian Wheeler's asking for the number again. It's right here on your screen, guys.
Screenshot it. Just screenshot your phone or whatever you're watching on right now.
Yeah,
202. Program it into your phone.
202-225-3121. That is the permanent number for the congressional switchboard. So like Chris just said, put the phone number in your phone. Anytime you have anything you want to tell to your stupid congressperson who's not fighting for you, call them up and tell them to vote one way or the other, however it works for you. So hammer on it, guys. Hammer on it. We're going to be back in a little while. And for those who haven't already, I know we have a huge amount of you guys have joined the American Firearms Association just in the last while. We have been on Capitol Hill for every hearing, talking with dozens of Congress members, shooting video updates from DC, bringing on Congress members to give you guys information. We are doing everything we can possibly do, hammering like hell on this. The NRA isn't saying jack diddly squat. Okay. And a bunch of the other groups, they love their paper tiger online status. We're boots on the ground. We're fighting this fight. And if you've not already joined, again, it's on your screen right now. Go to www.joinafa.org. Become a member of the American Firearms Association. Help us with this fight. If they don't pass it right now, they're going to come back. They're going to keep doing this. And like Chris just said, if they ever got this passed, it would be weeks before they're back saying, oh my gosh, this shooting happened. This guy was using a pistol. We need to ban this. Oh my goodness, this guy was using a gun that was bought 5 years ago. And, clearly banning them going forward wasn't enough. We need to go back and take what's left. We're going to take what they already own. They'll never stop unless we stop them.
Yeah, and then the next compromise that they'll roll out is forced buybacks, where they're going to spend $2,000 or $3,000 per AR. They'll give you gift cards to your local gas station because you can't freaking afford the gas that they're also screwing us over on, and forced buybacks. And also another thing about this bill, this grandfather clause, you can't, if you own it, you get to keep it for now, but you can't sell it to anybody else. Done. It's done. You cannot sell it to anybody else, period. So, that's
right.
Those who follow after us will be totally screwed over here.
Yeah. Haters asking, how many times can we send a petition? Hammer it over and over. Just pound it out. Fill up their email addresses, fill up their phone numbers. There's no reason to stop.
Yeah.
And one other thing.
This
ahead.
is a freaking government that is aggressively turning on the people that it's supposed to govern. No free republic ever does something like this. A government that starts to disarm their political opposition is one that has dreams and plans and an agenda of death and violence and destruction for its people. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. We're going into a way different era of the American experiment here. So, so these phone calls that we make right now, these emails that we send right now, they are very cheap, very inexpensive to take these actions. They're
Yes.
because we're still, for the most part, living in peacetime America. But this government, the left, the communist, Marxist revisionists that are seizing control of our government right now, they have every evil and ill intent for you, your family, your kids, your grandkids, and everything that this country was built on. They want to destroy it all. They want to take it all from you. They want to subjugate you and make you into a freaking slave for them.
I mean, this is political theory going back hundreds of years. They know what they're doing here. It's like, we throw out words like Marxist a lot. It's like Karl Marx, man. Like, these people study people like him.
Absolutely.
And they know how to implement that system of government and force it on the people. And so they can't simply say, we think all of you right-wing patriot types, we just want to take all your guns away. Instead, they say, if you want to keep your guns, you hate children, you hate your mothers, you hate apple pie, you're terrorists, you're extreme right sycophants, you're QAnon, the whole thing. So they're using a political insurrectionists. They're using a political playbook to try to sell this and now force it on the American people. So they can go to hell. They can't have our guns. We're not going to give up our guns, no matter what they try to pass, no matter what they do pass. But that means we have to contact them now. And you don't have to be kind. You don't have to be polite. You don't have to wring your hands, sir. Yes, sir. If it please the crown, would you please mind voting against HR 18? You don't have to do any of that. You say, I'm an American citizen. You are gonna vote no on this bill. Vote no. Vote no, because the left is doing that right now. And go ahead.
And what's happening here is not happening in a vacuum. It's not exclusive to itself. It is all part of their entire agenda to subjugate us. I mean, Tucker's been talking about it a lot lately, how you combine this gun control with their green energy policies, with their jacking up the cost of food, with their devaluing and destroying our American economy, and then like totally destroying our energy independence. It's all coming together. It's all part of their same worldview, their same agenda for this country, for you and your kids and your grandkids, that leads that in history. Not like the millennium, not ancient history. I'm talking about modern history. Within the last 150 years, these policies, when implemented by governments, have killed and murdered millions. 45 to 50 million people have died in the last 150 years because governments were allowed to go down the path that these tyrants are going down right now. So make those phone calls, send those emails. That's the name of the game right now.
There's I don't know how many times you can say it in so many different ways. There's nothing innocent about this.
No.
There's not a Democrat up there or who's sitting there going, "Oh, the poor children. Oh, those poor." They don't give a shit. They never have.
No.
These are the people who have butchered tens and tens and tens of millions of babies. They don't give a rat's about kids in school, about being safe when and they talk and they use phrases like, we're talking about the kitchen table issues. We're talking about the things that Americans care about. You people are so far out in left field, so pie in the sky, full of your Marxist bullshit. you have zero in common with the average man, and you straight up want to take our guns away because, well, if the Democrats loved guns, the Democrats wouldn't be trying to take away guns. Straight up. If all of their voters were strapped with AR-15s, the gun control issue would be dead. So this is straight up politics, straight up control. And they've watched what people like Trudeau have been able to do in Canada. They've watched what's happened in Australia, and they envy those tyrannical assholes because they want to do it here, but damn it all, we own hundreds of millions of guns, and that's never going to change. And we need to step in right now on this 29th day of July, 2022, and stop this bill. We must stop this bill because even if it has clauses in there, you know, Chris, I know you owned like a Bushmaster AR-15 like 20 years ago. Remember that?
Was the DPMS, I will remind you.
Was it DPMS? I swear it was a Bushmaster. But
No.
that gun now, and it's great, it's archaic. It's old. It does, you know, it's the technology has come so far. So while you may have a safe loaded down with the best guns that Colt or Browning or Remington or whoever has made DPMS, while you may own those things right now, if they ban the creation of these guns, if they stop them from being made anymore, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, government will have technology, and you know they already do, but they will have technology and firearms technology that is so infinitely past where we are. You know how you see those pictures from Australia, and you see like 50-year-old Woodstock guns from like the 60s, and you're like, oh my gosh, those are the guns they're taking away from Australians. That will be us. That will be us. Old, archaic guns and a supremely powerful government.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you guys, you know, maybe they make good firearms now, but I will never, ever, ever in my life buy another Daniel Defense firearm. Those guys got up there in that hearing and they licked the boots of the Democrats and did everything they could to try to play nice with them and placate them. It was just awful to watch. I'll never, ever, ever buy another firearm of theirs again. And because it's just terrible. These people have made millions and millions and millions of dollars and now off of gun owners in the last 5 years, and then they go in there and lick the boots and try to appease and prostrate themselves in front of these people. There is no compromise with the radical left. There's no making a deal with these people anymore. Like I said, their agenda for us is one of death and destruction. So
Ruger did the same thing, praising the passage of fix Nick's gun control. Every time they got asked a question, they'd start off with, oh, our hearts just bleed, and they start just like doing all of that crap instead of looking at Chairwoman Maloney and saying, don't preach to us about the lives of children, you baby butchers. Don't question our morality. You people kill babies for a living with our tax dollars.
And they were given those talking points, those bleeding sheep talking points from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the NSSF, which puts on SHOT Show. So that's another place you're not going to see me anytime, is going out to SHOT Show. Those people are the ones who have been trying to expand Fix Nicks and pass this stuff all over the country. They're bleating sheep. To them, the effort to bend over and lick the bottom of the boots of the tyrants trying to crush their skulls is a worthwhile pursuit. We reject it entirely. So that's just not for us.
No. Well, that's, guys, I think we're going to hop off for now. Again, for those of you who are tuning in or just got on here, the so-called assault weapons ban bill is in the House Rules Committee. They're setting the rules for the debate and the vote for this gun control bill that's going to go on the House floor. We're being told by congressional staff, likely going to be
Midday.
mid to late afternoon. That's what we're being told. So it's going to go from rules to the House floor. When that happens, we're going to be back here with a live stream coverage of this vote. In the meantime, guys, we have T-minus, I don't know, a few hours to make those phone calls. The phone number is on this screen, has been for a while, 202-225-3121. Call your Congress members, tell them to vote no. Then go to stopawb.com, send your petition telling them the exact same thing. And then if you'd like to take your support for the Second Amendment and for this organization to another level, we would invite you to go to joinafa.org and become a member of the American Firearms Association. So share this video with your family and friends, guys. We're going to hop off here. We'll be back in just a little while. Keep your powder dry. Take action right away on all the action items that we've given you here, please, and help us defeat this bill.